So the reason I talk about energy so much, and I present you with my understanding of how the universe works and how reality works, is because when the reality of what I've said to you really hits you and you grasp a firm realization of how reality works, how matter is held together, how your body works and how you interact with the world around you, it becomes virtually impossible to feel fear. And look, fear is such a big part of our lives that most people are in a state of fear and don't even know they are, because the fact is that everybody in Western society lives their lives in a constant state of fear. It's always there, dripping in the back of your mind. Fear that you won't be accepted, fear that you'll not meet the bills this month, fear that you won't be appreciated by people, fear that you don't look the way you would like to look, fear that you don't have the skills that you'd like to have, fear of people actually seeing inside you and seeing you for who you really are. So we have this facade, this persona that we present to the world, but very often it's not who we are. Very few people are real. Many people believe themselves to be, but they still have stuff with other people. They still have stuff with people around them. They're still in judgment. They still have stuff with other races, stuff with their neighbours, stuff with their siblings, because they don't understand that what that stuff is that they're having with people is fear. And it exists because they don't understand reality. They don't understand that the person they've got stuff with is simply a reflection of themselves. It comes from the same source. It's just another perspective of consciousness. And there's usually something about that person that totally interferes with your perception of yourself and your perception of what reality is. That person causes you to challenge your belief system. Whether you realize it or not, that's 99.9% of the time what's going on. They're causing you to challenge your belief system, and you will not take the opportunity to challenge it. You will not look at your belief system and see that that person has a perspective that's valid. No matter how wrong they may be, their perspective is still valid, and their perspective is based on what their experiences have been up to that point and what environment they've been around up to that point. And who's to say their perspective is wrong? Could it be your perspective that is wrong, or could it be that both perspectives are right, because both perspectives are the logical product of the influences that that particular person, that particular frequency of consciousness has been exposed to up to that point? So why would you perceive anybody's perspective as being invalid? You've got to understand that this is a very, very complicated world, and some people have had very, very complicated lives. They've been exposed to all sorts of things, and each one of these things has molded them into who they are now and the perspective that they have of reality. And it's very rare to find that perspective based on any type of real understanding of how reality works. Most people are like frightened little children inside. They've been brutalized. They've been brutalized since birth. They grow up, they're shoved into this school system which teaches them everything they don't need to know and completely locks off their right brain, teaches them to think in a certain way, to always abide by the rules, to always respect authority, and to never find out who you are. And you get up and you grow up through life, and you're in this social system which is teaching you you've got to climb over people to get to the top of the pile, and you've got to collect paper to be alive, and you never find out who you are. You miss out on that bit. And then you get to adulthood, and you've got these people that are just frightened children inside, and they've got this incredibly boxed view of reality because through all the chaos and all the jumble and all the assaults upon their consciousness that have happened to them through life, they've found this one little pathway that works for them. Okay, I'm safe here. I'm safe if I walk between these lines. I can put up these barriers around me and nobody can hurt me because nobody can get inside. And they call that being focused. But see, this is what's happened to human consciousness, and it's what's happened to virtually every person in the Western world, and we've gone off and infected the rest of the planet with it now as well. I mean, we've turned everybody into the Western world just about. And that's why I try to present to you a different perspective of how things work, because when you can perceive the universe to be energetic, you can just step back and see how it works. You have this aha moment, this wow moment, where you just look and you can see it. You see how the whole thing's connected. And you see exactly how reality works. And what's happened is that this incredible, expansive human consciousness that we all belong to, has been pushed and squashed down into this little tiny box and told to behave itself. You see, I go through all of these discussions about the energetic universe and the true nature of reality and the true nature of consciousness and how we are all connected to each other and all this sort of stuff, not because I'm trying to promote any New Age understanding. I'm simply attempting to help people understand what reality is so that they can remove fear from their lives, because when they remove that fear, they can connect with the people around them, and when we have this united community, we can change the world. We can change the direction our societies are going. And that's why I say you should always lead by example. Get to know your neighbours and lead by example. Show them what a wonderful person you are because you understand what reality is. Because they're going to want to know what sort of a person you are. If you start helping people around you, they're going to want to know you. They're going to want to get to know you. They're going to like your company. They're going to enjoy your company because you see them as valid. You're prepared to listen to what they say. And they're going to wonder why you're so happy all the time and why everything just works out for you all the time. And so you can explain your understanding of reality to them. And then they can work to change their lives as well. Because what they will find is that once they try it and once they reach out to the people around them and they start viewing the people around them as themselves and treating them as themselves, they will see that their world changes. All the great teachers throughout history have said the same thing. No matter what teaching or what religion you choose to adhere to, it's always the same message. Know who you are, heaven lies within, serve creation and treat other people as yourself, and you can change the world in 3 seconds. We just never seem to listen. And one of the most empowering moments of the awakening process is when you realise the absolute power of community, if the community were to unite, break down the barriers we have with each other. And when you see that, the simplicity of the solution is magnificent. And it becomes so clear because it is right there in everybody's faces.